The health of our schools is a good way of measuring the health of our society. It is, I think, an essential part of any democracy.
It is literally the future of our state, of our city, and our country.
I wanted a neighborhood public school. I wanted my kids to understand that this is the world you live in with all of its blemishes and all of its joys. A public school gives you that opportunity to fail or succeed on your own merits.
The sentiment in Malibu is that Malibu needs, wants, and requires its own independent school district.
Here's the ocean, and here's Santa Monica. You go 30 miles here, and this is Malibu. Okay, so they're really two different cities in two different areas that are a unified school district. Malibu has continually said there is no reason for us to be part of this school district.
When Santa Monica became a city in 1875, there were a group of folks who petitioned the state of California for permission to set up some public schools from Santa Monica all the way up to the end of Malibu. So they have been connected in terms of schools since 1875.
Malibu only got cityhood in 1991, but we continue to be part of the Santa Monica School District, which is much denser and has 86% of the students.
Santa Monica is a large city. Malibu is much smaller, and the personality of the community is totally different than in Santa Monica. Malibu is a surfer town. One intersection in the whole town. It's one main road. It's like a tiny American town.
Malibu has a very large real estate tax base that happens to consist of almost exclusively oceanfront property. So the tax base is very, very high. That's really at the heart of what we're discussing right now. Are the monies that go to Malibu, Malibu's, or is there some obligation to fund Santa Monica kids?
The tension is that because we fund schools through property values, by some notion of where a community's boundaries are, segregated by race and class, you're basically reinforcing separation and equities. That's one of the reasons why people argue for larger districts rather than smaller ones. You can get more integrated schools. But when you make larger districts, it's harder to have representation. It's harder to make sure everyone's concerns are being addressed.
We get one seat on the school board. And I can tell you, one seat on the school board is not enough to fully represent the voices of my community. Malibu's goal is 5 out of 5 seats on a Malibu elected school board.
So Malibu says, we don't want to fund it. We don't want to be part of it. We don't feel like we're being properly represented. We want to be our own people.
You know, they live so far away and they're funding us, so they were a little up in arms about that. They wanted to keep their money up there. So we were afraid that we were going to start losing money for our school as well.
I think that there are people who look at it largely through a very narrow sense of self-interest, that they want their dollars on their kids. And that's part of what's wrong with America today, is that we don't think about everyone, we think about ours.
Our district is a good district, good schools, our kids in general do very well. Unfortunately, low income and particularly students of color do not achieve at the levels of other students. And that's what's called the achievement gap.
The achievement gap is about measures and performance, standardized test scores and graduation rates. And one of the things that we showed that was, I think, particularly disturbing is the large number of students who graduate from Santa Monica, Malibu, and who go to community college and are stuck in remedial courses. They're not prepared for college. The controversy over Malibu and secession, again, an issue that many people feel strongly about, but gets in the way of the educational issues. It became, I think, a distraction from the primary educational issues facing the district.
Clearly, the unification of Malibu schools has become a political distraction. The distractions take our focus away from doing the work that we would like to do.
Well, if we had our own district, we would have our own people and we'd be able to communicate directly with them. We wouldn't have all this nonsense and red tape and all these. We don't need all these people involved. We're so small and we would just get stuff done.
Our view is if we split the two cities, the folks in Santa Monica will be able to focus on Santa Monica's issues and Santa Monica's distractions, and that Malibu can work on Malibu's issues and Malibu students and Malibu's distractions. So we basically overcome the political noise.
I totally get that they want to defect. I mean, you know, they want to keep their money where their students are. But they use everything the district provides. So it's going to be hard to implement everything all over again as far as their own busing and their food and their music and everything. You know, it's going to cost them a lot of money.
You know, it's like a divorce. If it's gotten to that point in Santa Monica, Malibu, where it's so acrimonious that it's really getting in the way of serving children, then they should definitely split.
It is beyond unusual. It is, as far as I know, unique. Some people would say Malibu should give their resources to Santa Monica forever, and some people in Malibu would say, why are we paying them anything? And I think the rational folks in the middle are working together for the good of all children to figure out what that solution is.
Every child should have an opportunity to a great education. And if that were a value that we all subscribe to, then we would make sure that, in fact, schools are equipped to meet the needs of every child.